My name is Cristianne Wendler, and I am here today from Shout It Now to talk to you about Chomi. Chomi is a multilingual gender-based violence chatbot that was developed for South African users to raise awareness about GBV, as well as to connect survivors to support services. Now, I do want to state that while it says South African users, much of the information contained in Chomi is universal and it transforms any geographic boundaries. But if you're looking at information such as how to get a protection order, that process speaks to the South African process. But most of you should have found a card on your chair. You can see that you can access Chomi via WhatsApp, and you can engage on it regardless of what country you're from. Also important to note, we did not create, nor does Chomi exist in a silo. As Julianne just mentioned, it is embedded within a systematic program that addresses HIV, gender-based violence, and sexual reproductive health for young people. So why did we create Chomi? I'm not going to run through all of the stats on this slide, and many of them may be familiar to many of you. Bottom line, the need is great, and particularly the need for adolescents and young women. But we cannot look at HIV without looking at gender-based violence and vice versa. So what is Chomi? It's WhatsApp-based, it's multilingual, and it is a chat bot. Chomi means friend. This was chosen because it is widely understood, and it's a fairly inconspicuous name in the South African context. These are the 4 languages that Chomi is accessible in. And the Chomi was designed to allow an individual to explore this information on their own terms, on their own time, giving them information, access, and options, which is a key to being able to be empowered. We know that many survivors never come forward for the health and physical and social support services they need because of barriers. Fear of the perpetrator, blame, shame, guilt, access. These are all barriers, and so it's important that we look for options. How do we bring down those barriers, and how do we increase and empower survivors? So Chomi is designed both in content and form based on real application, direct feedback from the field. Our social work teams engaging with clients and giving feedback on what are the needs and challenges that survivors who have come for services face. There are 9 content streams in Chomi. You can see them on the right hand here. And it covers everything from counseling and support, legal assistance, safety planning, which is a big one that a lot of people didn't even know what that means. But that can be for a survivor who's not ready to reach out for services, but there's still empowerment in knowing there's something I can do to be safer in my situation. There's over 640 unique messages in each of the 4 language streams across those 9 in each language across those 9 streams. Important also in the design is that we infuse GBV best practice with information, options, and practical strategies, but infusing that with empathy and affirmation, because we need survivors to understand they are not to blame and they are not alone. So our results to date in terms of our usage. We launched Chomi in August of 2022, and almost 1,600 unique individuals have accessed Chomi. 39% of those users have requested to connect to support services, a number that we're extremely proud of. And each of the content streams you can see in the graph here have been accessed approximately, a user is accessing approximately 2 streams when they go on. So just shy of 3,500 times streams have been accessed, with the most common being connecting to support services, followed by counseling support, and then followed by emergency assistance and GBV info and FAQs. I think also important to note that follows after at 8% is safety planning. Again, something we're really happy to see that stream is being uptaken and people are using that information. We also track language. Now, it's important on both, whether it's a content stream or language. Chomi is anonymous. So whether you go on Chomi or you go on Chomi, I cannot track what you do, nor should I ethically. It's meant to be anonymous. So I cannot tell you if you go on what you did, but I can tell you collectively how our users accessing Chomi. So both in the previous line and this speaks to collective, not broken down by individual user. So here we see that English is the most commonly accessed stream at 65%. For those who aren't familiar, South Africa is a country with now 12 official languages. So language is really important. But while we see English being the highest, English is the language that was available the longest. We brought on the languages in different phases, and so therefore we did see the higher uptake of English, given it was available longer. isiZulu came on approximately 3 months later. Important to note, though, within 24 hours of isiZulu being live, it was accessed. So I won't read through each of the testimonials, but these really speak. These are first-hand testimonials from survivors. We conducted focus group and in-depth interviews with individuals who had used Chomi to understand their use and experience. And what these speak to is empowerment, is options, is being able to be connected right away when I didn't previously know how. And also important, I want to specifically point out the orange block, because many of us do GBV screening and inquiry in our work. However, this is extremely difficult questions that we are asking. Our staff go through these motions of asking the questions because it's in our work. However, you're asking someone to disclose very personal aspects about their life they may not be ready to do. So it's really important as we think of programming, how do we give people tools that even if they're not ready at that moment of service, they can connect back in when they are ready. So in conclusion, accessible, user-friendly technology has a role to play in improving gender-based violence services. Safe, anonymous access to GBV information via a chatbot can both reduce barriers as well as drive GBV awareness. And lastly, multilingual GBV information is needed. And I really want to stress this part. As we were doing the translations for this, one of the social workers said to me, I don't know that word in Setswana. And I said, that's exactly why we have to translate it. Gender-based violence affects our society, our homes, our families. If we cannot talk about it, we cannot change it. So I'd like to thank Grand Challenges Canada for funding the creation of Chomi, the Chomi co-creators, as well as our social work and IT teams who bring this work to life every day, but most importantly, the survivors who put their trust in us. Thank you.